Hey everybody, you're listening to the Fake Book Club podcast where we talk about everything from movies, music, life, and occasionally the books we're reading. Follow us wherever you find your podcasts. I hope you enjoy the show. So I am Tabrizia and I am here today with my fellow co-hosts,
Whitney,
Chris,
Tessa,
and Evelyn.
So let us kick it off with our first topic, which is going to be the main topic for today's episode. I wanted to talk about adaptations, franchises, because I feel like, especially this year, but also years past, we have seen so many different adaptations and franchises. Sequels just keep popping up out of nowhere. And not just with movies and television shows, also with books as well. So I wanted to ask everyone, what is your favorite franchise?
Fast and Furious.
the thing with the most sequels in the world?
Is it really the thing with the most sequels?
It's probably Star Wars.
No, because Fast and Furious now has, 10, 11, right?
Oh, yeah.
9.
Plus they have a kids show. So main franchise movies, Fast and Furious, I think has the same.
They have Fast 10, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Fast.
Fast 10.
Oh, there's Fast 10. Yeah. Fast 11 hasn't come out yet.
No, it has not come out yet.
But it will.
It better next year.
So I think in terms of main movies, main franchise, I think Fast and Furious is technically beating out Star Wars.
I want to see.
I feel like that is true.
Longest running franchises.
I mean, the Simpsons.
Doctor Who. Doctor Who is the longest.
We're talking movies or TV?
Yeah.
In general.
I think it's easier to have a longest running TV and or manga book series than movie series.
Well, I mean...
One Piece.
That is
One Piece is the longest running manga.
The longest.
We're just naming
17 longest movie series of all time. Star Wars is 17 with 12 films.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's main franchise, right? So that makes sense. Because it's not counting Rogue One, it's not counting
it's not.
Han, was it Solo, Star Wars?
Oh, right,
yeah.
And then it's like Godzilla,
counting the
Star
Christmas
Trek.
Star Trek.
That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking, wait, it has to be a horror. And yeah, I was like, wait, it has to be a horror or a monster movie.
The Muppets.
That makes sense.
Yeah. 14.
Halloween has a lot of sequels too.
Yeah,
Halloween too.
Yeah.
And reboots.
And The Ring.
The Ring.
Oh,
That's
that's
15.
I think
Ring
that's
has
more.
15.
That's because of
more
Japan.
Yeah.
Japan has they like to do the with Godzilla, it's the cheap special effects and it's and all of that that is a very specific style is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So they're able to churn those out a lot more easily, and therefore it has so many sequels and so many continuations, if I'm honest.
Not to mention, it's not always the same villain or whatever, because it's not always the same Godzilla.
It is true, and I remember there was there was a really cute picture once of 3 people who have donned the Godzilla suit. These are these 3 older gentlemen, and they're just going down the street in their poses.
Godzilla walk.
It was very cute.
Are you guys ready for the number 1 movie?
Yes.
Wait, any last minute guesses?
Wait, hang on. It's movie franchise.
Yeah, it's
Do
not.
we know it?
It's not American.
It's not American.
But we know the actor.
We know the actor.
But it's not American.
Is it British?
No,
It's
Chinese.
I had a feeling.
But it's not who you think it is. Or maybe it is.
Longest.
Is it
But it's a
Bruce Lee?
franchise.
Longest running franchise.
Is it Policeman or something?
No. It is Wong Fei-hung, which spanned from 1949 to 2018 with a total of 123 films.
Wow.
One of the main leads, Jelly. So, take your slander of Fast and Furious.
Where are they on that list? Hang on.
Nowhere.
Somebody did not do the research properly. This list is from 2 years ago.
Oh, we
It's-
weren't thinking
It
international.
is from December
No.
2024, so not too long ago.
Clearly
but it
they
was from
haven't-
Collider.
Okay, clearly they haven't seen ang Provinciano from the Philippines because it's been like on millions of seasons as far as I am
But
concerned.
these are movies, not a TV
Yeah,
show.
that's fair. The TV.
But Gamera and Godzilla are two different films.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
So Godzilla has more films than Gamera.
Gamera.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then also with adding with the Godzilla and King Kong kind of thing.
Oh, I love those. It's so corny, but
Spider-Man
you
has
know what you're
17
getting.
films.
But they're not all
No, but
current.
but it's still technically the Spider-Man
And
franchise.
Batman has
Ah, yes.
18.
Batman has 18.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Because there's so much.
Yeah.
Because they keep going back to Batman. Because it's like, not because they
Because
have.
that's how you make the money.
Exactly.
Superman does not
Who's your
sell
favorite
suits.
Batman?
Huh?
Who's your favorite
Christian
Batman?
Bale.
See,
Val Kilmer, may he rest in peace.
yes.
no,
May he rest in peace.
Actually, pause. So I think Val Kilmer is my favorite Bruce Wayne,
Fair.
Okay.
but I did like
George Clooney. Yes, I know what you're gonna.
Of that movie. It was bad. It was really bad. But it was campy. It was campy.
It was camp. It was camp.
isn't always bad. But
Yeah.
I guess bad is always camp. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Adam West might be the best, right?
Oh wow, that is the campiest Batman though.
But I feel like you can rewatch Batman and Robin. It's like you're having a good time.
That's
like
probably true.
Like
Especially with the zoom, the close-ups of the
Yeah.
chest and the butt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the Bat credit card.
exactly.
I didn't know better when I was young. I just saw Alicia Silverstone was there, and
Right.
I said, "Oh, it's Clueless. She's in Batman and Robin."
And I think they did that on purpose because they were like, we need women or young girls to watch this, and like we're gonna put Alicia Silverstone because she was from Clueless, and
Okay.
that's what drew a lot of.
But can we
I-
not think that Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze?
I love him.
Oh,
kinda
that was-
cool.
He was really good.
No,
I love him as
that's
a
fantastic.
We like
Uma
that.
Thurman as
Yes, she.
Here's the thing. Unironically, that is one of my favorite Batman films to watch.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it is, like, to Tabrizia said, entertainment. It is pure entertainment, and I do miss that, like, in films. But back to the original question, what were you actually going to say before I...
So Val Kilmer, I think, is my favorite Bruce Wayne, but I think Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman.
That's
Oh.
Flash
No.
withstanding, or...
I never saw that.
Oh,
Was
it
it
is...
character assassination?
Shockingly, no. I
Okay,
do
good.
think Batman was one of the best things about that film.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I
never watched
I
it.
do think that they gave him a lovely hero send-off.
Oh, so he died.
He dies. Spoilers for The Flash.
But look,
Yeah.
a movie that definitely everybody watched.
Yeah.
but actually, lie. I want to take that back. I want to take back Michael Keaton.
God
even
damn.
though-
Oh wow.
Just backtracking all over the place.
Not because he's terrible, but obviously, like, we all grew up with the animated series, and so
Oh,
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
May he also rest in peace.
Yeah.
My favorite Batman.
I grew
That's
up with
great.
Yeah.
I grew up
Kevin
with that one.
Conroy.
No, that was
Yeah.
actually watching a thing where it's like they were comparing the Jokers. And somebody said Mark Hamill in the discussion. They're like, Mark Hamill doesn't count, and it's like, why the fuck not? He's the Joker that
Yes.
everybody
He's
actually
like
would remember.
He's not the first Joker.
He's not the
but
first
he's
Joker.
like the most.
He is one of the most
well-known,
iconic ones,
yeah.
despite just being a voice actor. Compared to, like, because they were listing like a bunch of live action Jokers.
Yeah.
So they're like, why is Mark Hamill in this discussion? It's because no matter what, he is the iconic voice of the Joker.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think the same thing with Batman. Kevin Conroy is like that iconic voice for Batman.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Because I'm like, Christian Bale's growl was not it.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think it was the story that like overcame any
And it's like,
deficiencies
it
with
with the story, sure, but I'm like,
But
the
can we
third
also
movie.
like credit / blame Christian Bale for it? Now every like superhero has a gravelly
growl,
voice.
Yeah,
If
like
they're dark, if they're dark, like dark.
Okay, Lego Batman did good. Lego Batman
Yes,
did good.
Will Arnett. He was a
great.
I love it. It's so good.
All right, but to be fair, like, and I cannot defend this choice, but my favorite is
Go
actually
on.
Batfleck.
I do.
Batfleck as Batman.
I do like.
I
him as
don't know
Batman.
what it is.
Okay, but if we're talking like beleaguered, like by the,
By the years.
by the years and all of this, like I understand Batfleck, but at the same time, like I did like the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Yes, did too.
That
He
movie was
did good.
fantastic.
It was like if that movie was like I was like, oh, every frame is a painting. Like this
Oh,
is a
yes.
like
It was beautifully
that,
shot, yeah.
It was.
that shot where he's holding the torch like in the water, beautiful.
No, it was very well shot, and I do
Oh, yeah,
like.
it was-
I can't wait.
I will
Hopefully,
laugh.
we get the sequel because apparently now there's talks that they're gonna axe the movie.
Oh, there's always talks.
Yeah, but like it's because apparently it doesn't fit the James Gunn vision, even
Yeah.
though he was like it's gonna be an alternate reality, blah blah. But now they're like
That's
kinda taking
because
that back.
James Gunn has like that. What is it? What's that style called? It's like colorful and dull. at the
Like
same
Guardians
time.
of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy. What's the one he did with Harley?
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
No,
Not Birds of Prey.
Prey.
He didn't
Sorry.
do Birds of Prey. No, he
The
did
other
Suicide.
Suicide Squad. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it? No,
The
his
second
was
one.
the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
right?
that's, yeah, the second, yeah.
With
See, that's a reboot.
yes.
Because it has to make up
It's
for
like it's
Suicide
silly
Squad.
with like a pop of color, despite the fact that the material is
It's very
dark,
grim, yeah.
very
Yeah.
grim.
I'm a little.
But I'm like, I think going back to that though, I don't mind James Gunn's like artisticness, like when he adds the color, because I'm like that goes back to that where it's like I would love to see more color.
Right.
I miss neon Gotham.
Well, that was like that. What happened with the Dark Knight
Everything-
trilogy?
everything
Because
is sepia
with
tone.
Christopher Nolan, he came out with the Dark Knight, which was great. It was dark and grimy,
It was
and then
realistic.
DC Universe was like, "Oh well, we made like $1 billion with this. We have to keep with this." And they tried to do that with Superman, with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
no,
Superman-
Superman is not
Yeah.
dark and
It's
grimy.
antithetical to his,
It's not
It's antithetical to
To his
his like.
character.
Yeah.
But I did
He's
like
the big
Man of
blue boy
Steel.
scout.
Well, Henry Cavill is one of
Okay, I think
I
Henry Cavill is the reason why Man of Steel worked.
yes.
Yes.
Henry Cavill is the only safe.
But he was the only reason why it
And
kept my
the fact that they
attention
couldn't
because that
keep him.
move, that story was
I
just
think
all
that's
over
just
the
all.
place.
It is kind of on him because I've heard like some weird
Yeah.
stuff about him, so
Oh dear.
it makes sense.
But I mean, like he's
But-
just leaving franchises left and right at this point. So
It's
I'm like, you
because
know
he's
what?
got like a vision for accuracy and like authenticity that
he's
is
a
not
closet
respected.
nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's in the closet as a
He's not.
nerd
He's
anymore.
not.
It's
in-
open.
Especially after he
He's
built
a
that
class-
PC.
He's a closet creep.
There you go.
Oh.
I would believe. Although apparently, what's her face? Millie Bobby Brown said very nice things about. What's it? Yeah, that's her name, right?
Who's-
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She said very nice things about him on the set of Enola Holmes, but otherwise, I don't know.
Oh, I saw that.
I think she's required to say nice things.
She's required to say nice things about
Okay,
him.
Sherlock Holmes reboots. That's another one.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, I will
And
say.
James Bond.
I have been
That's also one
rereading
of the
Sherlock
top
Holmes from
17.
beginning to end.
Oh,
like, recently.
nice. Oh, wow.
So I'm just here like the sass with which like Holmes is written is hysterical to me.
It's
Like
just-
upon like a reread.
This was the source material is so rich that you know
Yeah.
that's why there
Yeah.
are so many reboots for it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you know, we eat it up.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Sherlock Holmes?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wow.
House.
No.
No.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Of
No.
course you would say that.
Yeah. I do. I
Wait.
think like the Robert Downey.
Robert
That
Downey
was
Jr.
good too.
Yeah, I think it also depends on which. Are we talking about modern Sherlock Holmes or
That's
I
the
think
thing
most
too.
close to the source material? If we're talking about close to the source material, Robert Downey Jr. He did a really great job.
Jude Law is my favorite Watson.
That's fair.
He's great.
Lucy,
Great.
Lucy Liu is my favorite.
Oh,
No,
that's-
and he would be correct.
I've been watching Elementary.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes. I actually do
It's
enjoy
so
that
good.
Holmes as
I
well.
like when it's based in New York. Actually, I feel
I think it's
nothing's
funny.
wrong with
I think that's a
London or
bias,
whatever.
though.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you can't say that.
And that's how you start a fight.
They have a museum dedicated to it.
I've been there. I just like that. I don't know. I like Johnny Lee. I love Elementary.
Johnny Lee Miller is
Johnny
great.
Lee Miller.
He did a-
spin
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
It's
To be
great.
fair, apparently I didn't realize this until I was watching Elementary about how big of a Johnny Lee Miller fan I am. because two of my like top movies are Trainspotting and Hackers.
I was gonna mention both of them. Yeah.
And two of them take place in New York.
Elementary.
Elementary and Hackers.
And Elementary and Hackers. So there we go.
The other one tells you to choose
I need
life.
Johnny Lee Miller back on my TV screen or movie screen. I think he was in something recently.
I think he was no. I know he was in a play. Like
Maybe it was a
couple
play.
years
I think he was
like a
Yeah,
West
it was
End
a play.
play,
It's like
yeah.
Of Mice and Men or something.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it was
He's
like
just
a
so
play, yeah.
talented. I'm
Mhm.
just like, this show. And it's CBS, and you can't trust CBS with anything. They
No.
canceled just half their shows recently.
Did they really? God damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all but the original FBI is gone. Like a couple of other actually have to watch it on TV shows, but not Criminal Minds. So that's all I care
Because
about.
that's their
Honestly,
money making thing. That's like
That's their
CBS's
Law
Law and Order franchise. Yeah.
like FBI.
But speaking of back to franchises, so Whitney's is Fast and Furious. That's her favorite.
I forgot that was yours.
I will, for me, I will say Scream.
Oh.
Because that is the only franchise that I will faithfully, I will
Watch.
keep watching over and over
Same.
again.
I did not watch the show because I thought it was silly.
I didn't see, even though Wes Craven,
didn't know it
rest
was
in
a show.
peace. Yeah, I know.
Until
Very
until they took it off the air, I was like, this was a fucking show.
Yeah, I was like, even though Wes Craven was involved, rest in peace, I was like, no, I
love her rest in peace.
I was literally about to say we need a rest in peace counter for this
To
episode.
be fair, I was gonna jokingly say rest in peace to somebody. I was gonna say it's a Batfleck.
oh wow.
He's not going Batman ever again.
No, you say RIP to Ben Affleck because the Celtics are
That's true. The Celtics lost.
Yay! We need to talk about the Knicks.
We do that for like the two people that listen to this that actually know about sports.
I'm just glad I wasn't in Midtown.
It was a party.
I saw the photos of that afterwards. I was like, God damn.
That's the only thing that will unite New York.
When a team pushes wins.
The team fucking wins.
I just want to see the look on Spike Lee's face.
When they zoom in on him.
On his long pose.
But Evelyn, what is your favorite franchise?
The Muppets. Honestly, there's so many good ones that I wouldn't, on the spot, I couldn't think of any, but I do love the Muppets.
Honestly, that's not
What's your favorite Muppet movie?
What did I see
Treasure
If it's not Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
No, Christmas Carol was a good one, and then I saw another one recently where they were
I watched Christmas Carol even out
I
of
own
the
it.
season. Please.
Muppets Take Manhattan is good, and then when they were stuck inside someone's cabin, and there was
Treasure Island was good too.
Treasure
No, it
Island
wasn't
was
Christmas. It was something else. But anyway, yeah. I like
I have to
Who's your favorite character?
Stuck in.
I love it.
Muppets stuck in the cabin and it's Avenue Q.
No.
I mean, I thought your favorite was Animal.
I do love Animal. They're all so cute. I love them.
I think my favorite.
I think you would have made a great
Muppet is-
Muppet.
I would love to have been a puppeteer.
Grover.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Oh, Grover's amazing. I have a little tiny Grover.
My favorite my favorite children's book is There Is a Monster at the End of the
I love that one. Yeah, I saw that recently in the bookstore too. Yeah,
It's still popular.
it is very. Yeah, it's so.
See, the Muppets will never die because
No, they will not. Yeah.
They refuse.
around.
They're at this point. They're just Eldritch beings.
R.I.P. Jim Henson.
Forever 20 years.
What's your favorite franchise?
Oh god, it's so hard. Cause
Sailor Moon. No.
Actually,
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Oh my
To be
god.
fair, wait, are we limiting this to movies or are we doing just any franchise?
Are we doing this just for
Holy
movies? Or
Let's do this. We're going to do the thing where we think someone else's franchise.
So we're doing this for any franchise: TV, books, movies.
No, I was just ran for filth with Pokemon. I'm like, oh my god.
I was like, Pokemon. Have a little sticker on the computer.
I have a little
It's
sticker
number 8
and
on most
keychain.
movies.
Pokemon? Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, because it has
Video
so many
games.
movies.
They-
Video games.
yeah, they have a
Pokemon.
movie like every other year, so.
So yes, Pokemon, my favorite franchise.
There you
But
go.
yes,
Why do you sound like we're holding you at gunpoint?
I I'm being. I speak this not under duress. It is unfortunately very true. Pokemon is 100% the favorite franchise that I forgot about because I just live it constantly and I don't think about it. So someone had to remind me it was a franchise.
Yeah, you forget it's a franchise because you love it so much.
I live in
part
it.
of me.
I practically live in it. I'm a problem. So yes, you are correct. You read me to filth. I was about to be like, maybe Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You have a Lord of the Rings tattoo, so
I have a Lord of the Rings tattoo.
I do love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so that's what I was initially thinking. It's what I wrote down on my notes. And then Pokemon happened, and now I don't know what to do with myself.
There you go. Yeah. You have to let someone else tell you for you.
Who's your starter Pokemon?
My starter Pokemon
of all time.
Of all time. No, you can't make me choose in Gen 3 specifically.
I feel like that's hard.
It is very hard. Like, if I... no, I'm too scared. We move on.
Yeah.
And
Chris, what is your favorite franchise?
So Assassin's Creed. Yeah, no, Assassin's Creed is definitely one.
You have to let someone else tell you.
Yeah. No, I was like, Ubisoft has me in a chokehold, no matter what. Like, I'm buying an Assassin's Creed game if it comes out. But I was Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man's definitely one of the franchises that I've watched since I was a kid, that I continue to watch. That I play their video games.
You do rewatch the cartoons on a regular basis. Like there is hardly a day where I don't come home from being anywhere and I hear the Spectacular Spider-Man theme
if
song.
it's available, because that shit is hard to find, man.
The original 90s run?
No, Spectacular.
Which one is that?
Josh
Bell?
No, that's the one that came after.
Is it the one voiced by
Drake Bell, by the way.
Drake Bell.
Josh Keaton is the one who voices Spectacular Spider-Man.
I know Josh Keaton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was on
Personally?
I wish.
He has a prolific voice actor.
Shiro on Voltron.
Yeah, he is a prolific voice actor, but his is Spectacular Spider-Man, which I think is one of the best cartoon adaptations.
Which one's the Robbie Damon one?
That one is Marvel's Spider-Man, which came out in 2019.
Is he the one that does the video game where he's doing this? Oh my god!
Oh, do tell.
It's gonna buy. It was a sound that was popular, and it's a video game of this guy just saying the
Robbie Damon does not do
that.
I don't think he's the voice for that one, but he's definitely referenced it.
I know this is Genshin Impact.
I know nothing about Genshin.
Yeah.
Same. I only know that.
Oh God, no, you have the audio in my brain right now, and it won't leave. They made it a meme.
Yep.
They made it
was a huge meme. Yeah.
I will not do it.
But Spider-Man definitely is one of the franchises that is stuck with me for the longest. And Assassin's Creed, like I said, if they release a game, I'm playing it. No matter
how did you feel about the movie?
I actually liked it, but
I guess I know nothing about Assassin's Creed, so was it?
Oh no, it's a slog.
Oh,
here's the problem: it is a slow fucking movie. Mm-hmm. However, they got so many of the concepts correct from the video games that I'm like, I can't actually be mad at this. Plus, it was better than the Sands of the Prince of Persia Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Oh I've never seen that in my life.
Look, here's the thing. Again,
I know about it.
As a fan of Prince of Persia, I didn't think it was a bad movie. Jake Gyllenhaal's accent was horrendous.
Yes.
I don't know why they told him to do a British accent, especially considering they're in fucking Persia.
Well, whenever it's not America,
I know it's British, but
there are only two countries
there's only two accents, American and British. But his accent was atrocious. The movie itself I thought was fine. Same with Assassin's Creed. I think they got a lot of the core concepts correct.
I was very concerned about Prince of Persia.
Yeah. It's just that Assassin's Creed is such a weirdly heavy story that to try to make it into one film, it was hard. It was going to be impossible no matter what, because you have to explain the technology, you have to explain what the fuck they're doing, you do. I think what they did correct is the fact that they show multiple test subjects, which is a plot point in the game, is the fact that you are one of the test subjects.
So is it basically an isekai?
No.
No, because, well...
I mean...
Well, you get transported to another world.
Not
It's not
necessarily.
well, it's your past.
Oh,
It's not.
past.
So
if you were
the-
independently like doing like your thing like in the past or in another world, that would make sense for an isekai. But because the framing device is that you are being transported to events that are like that have taken place in your like deep past.
Well, it's not your
So
genetic past.
Your genetic past. Thank you.
So it's like they've since strayed away from that, but like the original games was the idea was that the animus would take you into the memory of like an ancestor, and then from there it's you controlling the what are you going to say?
With that being such a like what do you call it, a core concept for Assassin's Creed, I'm surprised they haven't done anything with Genghis Khan, which
Well, I mean that's the thing. You interact with historical figures.
no, I mean
you mean the ancestor thing?
yeah, because isn't it like a
He
popular
populated half the world.
and so at any point like somebody is out
We're
there
all
existing
related
who
to
are all
Genghis
related
Khan
to
and
Genghis
Did he go down the line far enough?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
like it's such low hanging fruit, you know.
Yeah, and also they did China, but it was during the 1900s, I think,
I think so. Was that
or the 1800s.
Revelations? What?
No, it's not Revelations.
Oh.
It's it's Assassin's Creed Red, I think it was called. There are 3 games released on the 3DS and PSP that take place in Russia, China, and I can't remember the other one. Turkey? I want to say Turkey. Anyways, point is-
Eurasia.
Yeah, Eurasia. But like, yeah, no, the whole point was like you go back genetic memories, and then anytime you fuck up, it's like, well, yeah, that's not how the memory went. Try again.
It's really funny.
Or if you try to explore a place before your level cap, it's like that's not like a part of this memory. Like go back and like, but they've since
Like what
kind
is
of-
what is the goal of the game?
Oh, so the whole thing is
to serve the
no, to serve the light. No, the whole thing is that it's a multi-generational clash between the Templars and the Assassins. The Templars are the ones who have made this technology because they're looking for pieces of Eden, which are like magical artifacts. You know, like that you've seen librarians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any of those could have been a piece of Eden.
Okay.
By the definition, like the Apple of Eden is one of them. The Spear of Destiny would be another one.
Mm-hmm.
There's like what's the cloth that revived?
Lazarus.
Lazarus,
The
yeah.
Shroud of Lazarus.
The Shard of Lazarus would be one. Like stuff like that. Any historical like mythical
Artifact,
artifact could be a piece of Eden that would be the focus point of the game. One of them I think was also like Poseidon's Trident is one of them.
Wild. A wild choice.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so the whole point is the Templars are kidnapping and abducting people to try to find these artifacts. The Assassins are like another group that are just raised and trained to subvert them.
Okay.
And usually they have a
It's
link
all
to
secret
some-
society.
Yeah, it's all secret society and shit. And what's funny is because Ubisoft is the way it is, technically Assassin's Creed also takes place in the same universe as Far Cry, which is also like insurrection and revolution, like in various continents and places, and also Watch Dogs, which is a hacker group going up against like corporate military.
You've
Yeah.
never told me this.
Oh yeah, they're all
of it-
interconnected apparently.
that.
In all of the in-depth like things you've told me about Assassin's Creed, you have never told me it has a shared universe.
Yes, it's wild when you find out.
Oh my goodness. Can I add? So on top of Fast and Furious, I want to add Psych as like my
Oh,
Listen.
psych, yes.
So another Sherlock. Another
Yes,
Sherlock.
exactly.
Another Sherlock.
Okay, yeah, because I was like,
That's what you should do for dueling detectives.
Psych.
side.
You did do that?
Yeah, we
did
did. Yeah, we did like USA detectives. Kind
Oh,
of
so it was,
yeah, Psych versus
Sean
Monk.
versus Monk?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay. You do. I can't
Apples and
believe
oranges, but-
Monk has been revived. Like,
Well, yeah.
or at least that subject was
Well,
revived.
this was like before the
The
last
the-
Monk movie. Yeah, I think we did this last year or so.
Mm.
but
That's
yeah, we
really
did do
funny.
that, yeah.
Also, on a very, very, very tangential side note, I did find like the voice actor who does the Oratrice Mécanique de l'Élise Cardinal.
Yes.
And like the fact that I was able to trace it like almost.
I'm glad you
It's
found
Ray.
it.
It's Ray Chase, not Robbie.
Oh, Ray
Not-
Chase.
See?
Okay.
Nice.
I knew it was
Robbie. It's Robbie Damon, right? No.
Robbie Damon is
Okay.
He does voice of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. No. Because like I keep mixing up his name. I
I
keep.
get Ray Chase, and yeah.
And
Yeah,
Robbie
no.
Damon makes. I don't
No.
know.
I keep saying Donnie Raymond instead of Robbie Damon.
Oh my god.
So because I can never remember. So it's Robbie Damon. Yes, Robbie, sir. Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Or disrespectfully.
I did once say, because I loved the Persona series, I loved like the voice cast. I did say I would. Oh no, never mind. It wasn't that series I was thinking of. Never mind.
Moving on.
Moving on. But also disrespectfully was just funny. Yeah, I did find. I was just not sure who the voice actor was for that bit.
Okay, so my next topic is a franchise that you wish that they would stop being made.
Disney.
Well, Disney is not a franchise.
They're not a franchise. They like to think they're a franchise, but they're like just a major corporation that just has
They
a...
are.
No.
They're a collection of short stories.
Yes.
I will say very specifically, I am quite tired of Disney turning classic animated movies into live action.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That I am
Like,
tired
did we
of.
need a live action, quote unquote, Lion King?
No.
That was
Really?
not... yeah.
Honestly, that's the worst one.
Yeah, that was, and it wasn't even live action. It was just
It's
a computer.
CGI.
Yeah, it was computer animated. It's like, so what is making me want to go see that when I can just see the one that I grew up with?
I think the only counter to that is that I did read an article where somebody was like, they acknowledged after watching it with their kids that it wasn't for them. It was literally for the child. You know what I mean?
Because
like,
they're
it's-
used to seeing that style now. That's
Yeah.
what they
Right, and it's
respond
like
to.
because they never. I think in the article they mentioned that they hadn't shown their child like the cartoon one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is their Lion King. You know what I mean? And it's like
I would only show
I-
my kids.
Yeah.
my
Yeah, I
son.
chose the
the cartoon
animated one. Yeah.
Same. But I'm like, okay, I get that. Where it's like it's not for us. You know what I mean? But it's also
If I
unnecessary.
Nice.
if I
I
have to take my future children to the movie, a little bit
And you
of it
will.
has to be for me.
And that's why they do adult jokes. The animation and the story is not for us anymore. The jokes are.
Yeah. The little giggles from
Exactly.
the adults in the audience, they thrive, you
But I
know.
think that's like why my parents, when they took me to see those classic animation, they enjoyed them because for both for them and for me as well. And seeing these live action ones, I'm like,
Hurts the I think if it was good CGI, but not everything is AI. But,
Yeah,
but
come
like
on.
the CGI is just it's too much. I feel like we've regressed as far as tailoring because like when
That's-
you watch a movie like The Matrix, and at that time the bullets flying and the
Yeah.
backwards
Yeah, it was
dodging of
more or
them.
less revolutionary at the time.
Yeah, but now you're just
There's
like,
no sense of revolutionary development. There is a
it's green screen.
Yeah.
what's the word for it? There's a stagnation,
Stagnation,
in the
yeah,
style
plateau.
of like movies, in the style of movies these days, because like we all grew up in a like generation where we saw technological advancements like
Yeah.
By
do it
leaps
so
and bounds.
rapidly.
Yeah.
And we were
Exactly.
like, there was a point in time where we were marveling at like, oh, the way that they draw like hand drawn animation is so smooth and so whatever. And then suddenly it was like, oh, the way that like this movie is shot is like sharper and better. And then there was CGI happened, and then like the Matrix happened, and suddenly everything. I feel like there's a point wherein everything actually no longer starts from the classics. They start from the point of the 2000s and go upwards from there.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, if y'all want to save money, less CGI. Like,
Exactly.
like 300.
Well, they don't want to
bajillion
pay
dollars.
any people
Yeah, that's
to
what
actually
I'm
be in
saying.
the movie studio.
You
They
want
want to
to pay at
outsource it to
least-
somewhere else and
yeah.
have them work
It's-
at a computer.
And it's so sad because it really devalues like the artistry that was so pivotal to making these types of
Well,
movies.
yeah, because I mean, taking The Lion King for instance, right? The live action, the CGI, they got rid of like Scar's
Expressions.
mane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
Like,
also got rid of expressions. Because
Expressions,
animals
yeah.
don't make expressions.
exactly. They got rid of expressions. They got rid of like what made the characters, iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's kind of wild? So there is, I remember seeing this somewhere, and I could be wrong about remembering this, but it's a lot of the way animation, especially children's animation, works is you have to make something memorable to children. Children do not necessarily distinguish like voices or like faces, but they respond to silhouettes and colors. So they made Scar design the way that he was, and they made Mufasa design the way they were. Even though they're both lions, you have to make them very distinct.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell who's a bad guy and who's a good guy.
Yeah.
And you have to show like progression in the same way. Like you show Simba growing up. You show like all of that.
Isn't there a Mufasa movie coming
Yes.
out?
No, it already came out.
It came out.
It's been out.
I don't think it got.
Again, not for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
don't know who that one was for, to be honest.
but like there's a lot of thought that goes into all of that.
Mhm.
And like they also like source like live animals and like sketches
Yeah,
and
so they could get the movement right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and also like there's so much work that goes into like knowing expressions, knowing storytelling, and like visual, and like also film language, and how to put that like out on screen into a comprehensible thing that everyone's gonna understand. So I'm just like, I'm mad that like the advent of CGI has like completely like turned it on its head, because like yes, there's a lot of stuff that you can say via CGI, but I think it's being used in a more lazy way. They're doing it for spectacle versus storytelling,
And
which
also-
kind of makes me sad.
And they're also
It's
doing
boring,
it
like-
because they're just running out of ideas. Because it's like with the Disney like live action, I'm like, why are you going back into your catalog and doing a live action of Cinderella, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, when you could just probably, I know it's
a
money.
sure thing.
It's a sure thing.
It is, because
Yeah,
it's
we're
Snow White
seeing
Bob.
that people are getting tired of it when you can just come up with a new story. Because I feel like when they were at like the peak of Disney Pixar,
But you remember when they did Wish, and then they said, "Oh, it didn't sell because it's not a new it's
yeah,
not a
well,
previous IP."
But nobody wanted
because
Wish.
they did Wish because they wanted to celebrate their anniversary of becoming Walt. I think it was-
Really?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was
something like that.
celebrating their anniversary of, and that's why it was like
Never seen her.
behind
I've
of
seen it.
Wish, because like
Not- well-
going to Disneyland or Disney World, whatever they want to name themselves. It's like
It's both.
I know it is.
Depends where you are.
It's going there because your wishes come true. So they wanted to relive that through that movie, and it just didn't pan out well. That's because they didn't really promote it that well, in
No,
my
but
opinion.
also I saw like that star companion that they had was a completely different character.
Yes, and this is what
And
me and my friends have
goddamn,
been obsessed with for the
I
past
wish
few months.
they had kept that character because it looked and behaved so much cooler than whatever that fucking star was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the change between my god, this is a whole rabbit hole that one of my friends has actually been like talking to me about, like the original Wish concept versus the actual movie. And it's so the original star character was supposed to be a whole boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, where was this hit movie that I was hoping for?
And then and this is where it was probably connected to their anniversary because the
I
star
didn't even know that they had an
is, like,
anniversary.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
kind
that
of
was
like
the reason.
they're models because during the opening of any Disney movie credit they have the castle. It's that little star that comes in and goes on top of the castle.
Which-
That's Tinkerbell.
I always
Yeah.
thought it was Tinkerbell.
But yeah, but it's still, but she's also a star too. When she's like very like she transformed into like a little speck, and they was like, oh, it's kind of like a star, even though if you're zooming in, I know it's Disney.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's Disney.
Disney is killing the magic.
We can
No, I
we can
think-
do so many conspiracy
God.
theories of this,
But,
but
like-
Speaking of killing the magic, does anyone watch 911?
Oh, no. No,
What
please.
is-
For the sake of a specific person in our audience, do discuss what just happened on 911.
Fuck Tim Minear. Okay, so I am a 911. That is one of my favorites.
shows
that are currently on, and it's been going from 8 seasons. It started on Fox, and with the merger and the jumbling, now it's on ABC, and they killed off a main character. The point, and everyone's pissed, understandably, because the whole premise was it's a silly firefighter show with no main character death, and the showrunner / writer wanted realism to the show.
God damn.
Or did the actor have a contract with another
I thought
thing?
the actor left.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was creative. It was creative vision from Tim Minear, the showrunner, to kill off a major character, and it was the most impactful one. And I watched his funeral episode, which was ass, and I am not going back to it. But I say that to say the realism was fucking crazy. The whole realism part of it is crazy because the first episode, one of the main characters, not the one that they permanently killed off, but one of the main characters had a rebar through the center of his head and lived. Another main character shouldn't have a leg because a fire truck fell on it. And then
a whole ass fire truck. And then that same character got struck by lightning. Another character got buried alive. But they
So she didn't.
How did this one die?
And so there's a virus outbreak in a lab, and the character that got the rebar through his head got it was feeling the effects, like blood spooling out of his face and everything. And so they were rushing to get the antidote, which he was too far gone to have that antidote immediately be effective, if we're being honest. Yeah. And so then they get him the antidote. Of course, there's only one. There's only one antidote. They get the one vial. And so then the captain, he got exposed, even though he had his gear on, like there was a hole in his oxygen tank. And then he died and then he died. And
Spoilers.
I cried. Well, look, if you watch the show, don't start watching it. It's ass.
So was this everyone's favorite character, basically?
It wasn't that it was everyone's favorite. He was the father of the show. He was like, he was the glue that held everything together. And so now,
and they killed him.
And so now I'm just self-boycotting. And the only thing that was keeping the show together was the delusion of two of the main characters dating each other. Boys,
wait,
of
that's
course.
Delusion? I thought it was real. But
No.
that's just what I saw online. Because the ship is so popular.
The ship is very popular, yes.
I thought it was
I heard many things.
The ship is popular, but it's Buck and Eddie.
Yes.
The ship is popular, but it's like with if for anyone that has ever watched Teen Wolf, it's like with Styles and Derek, where you're just like an illusion of something, and then the fans just go. There is never any real setup there, for being honest.
I got Tumblred into thinking it was because they said the screenshots and the gifs and everything. That's the thing.
There was some in the earlier seasons. You can understand why it was.
Like there was subtext.
There was some subtext because it's like. Eddie has a kid who has who has cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy.
Sure, yeah, that's the one.
And he a tsunami happened. Lived. The child lived. The child got swept in LA. There was an earthquake. There was a bee NATO, mind you.
Oh my god.
There was a Poseidon adventure. Not Poseidon.
Like the ship, trapped on a ship type thing. Yeah.
Oh my
okay.
god.
Wow.
Shenanigans.
This is why I never really caught on to 911, because it's just like
I
their plot lines
binged
are too far fetched.
It's a telenovela.
Gilligan's Island.
Oh, that's what it is. It's a telenovela.
Yeah.
If it was in Spanish, it would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Watch it in Spanish.
The thing is, I binged it probably during the pandemic, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
So it was, for me, it was just something to just watch because what else was on? Especially during the pandemic. There's two things I did. I watched 911 and I watched Thai boys love TV shows on YouTube. But during the pandemic,
And they fused together
And
and
they
it's
fused.
like, this is the...
Oh my god.
but now it's just like, so yeah. I don't know what the original point, but that just sparked a
Well,
rage.
there was rage.
There was rage. It
That's
seems
valid.
like
That's valid.
because 911 is a huge franchise
And it's
now.
ABC now, it's Disney.
Yeah,
so
so-
that's
So
where
in
we're
other
at.
words,
That's
Disney is
where it
ruining
was.
everything.
Everything.
Mhm.
Not Disney for Tim Minear, and I
Specifically.
hope he can kick rocks on broken glass with bare feet. And that's how I feel about it.
Well, as long
my
as
God.
your people
If you're
are
listening,
watching,
Tim.
as long as people watching, the viewership is up.
That's because no one has any backbone. There's still the only thing that's keeping people watching is the hope that Buck and Eddie will get together, and it's not going to happen.
It's being
and
held
then,
together by a non-existent show.
The non-existent
Well, I
duct
mean-
tape, like holding it together.
But I feel like that can be said about any franchise that you feel like it's just like going on for so long. Is it because people keep watching
Isn't
it?
that supernatural that they
And they finished it with Super Help.
and he killed Dean.
Yeah, because it was supposed to end at season 5, and then
5.
yeah, 5,
Not
And-
15.
I
because
stopped watching it like
I never
yeah,
watched
the
it.
creators were like they
You were
always
strong.
envisioned it at season 5, like they would
Well-
end it. But then I think it was the network and also the popularity of the show. They were like, "Can you keep
Same
it
with
going?"
Grey's Anatomy.
See,
I
I
don't
feel
know
the
how
same thing
that
happened to
show's
House,
still
to be
going on.
honest.
Yeah,
Like House feels like it went like 2 seasons too long. You know what I mean? It was still fun, but like, goddamn.
Well, in Supernatural's case, it went 10 seasons.
Yeah, no, that was insane.
It was so long. I was like, I'm done. I can't watch this.
I stopped after season. Yeah, I stopped around
I
like
don't even
season 8 or
remember
9.
which season I stopped on.
I tried to
think-
go back to it because it was on Netflix.
I stopped
Yeah,
at
exactly.
episode.
Yeah,
I
I was
stopped
like,
at
I
episode
can't.
1.
I got to whichever
never
season
even
the
got into
Leviathan was in, and I just stopped. I was like, this is.
Yes, that's about after.
I was like,
when
I think I'm
stopped.
done here.
And then
I know
went
memes.
back when Jensen Ackles' character Dean became a demon, and then it pulled me back, and then it lost me.
And then I lost
Yeah.
you again.
Demon Dean was just Jensen Ackles is my favorite white man actor, so he's Jensen Ackles. Jesus
So, what
Christ.
other franchises are we like so over and done with? I have one, but I mean, I could say it, and you guys will
I
probably.
mean, I could
all
go real
attack
quick
me.
because I don't have anything. Like,
Say it.
I don't necessarily have a franchise that I wouldn't, because I don't care. Like, if something exists that I don't want, that I don't like, I don't want to watch it, I'm not going to watch it, and it's not going to bother me.
You simply scroll on.
Yeah, I will simply just walk on by
Unbothered queen.
while it just like the franchise can burn to hell for all I care, and I will just simply walk on by. But I think what I would like to stop seeing is grimdark shit for everything.
Yeah,
I
the
would
grim
like-
version.
Yeah, a grim version of everything does not need to exist, and I'm getting tired of that shit.
And also, it's actually visibly like. Can we bring back light?
Yes, for the love of God, I would like to be able to see what happens in the scene. We have the technology.
Like, for the people who are asking,
look,
where
look,
is the
look.
light coming from? The same place the music is coming from.
Look, here's the thing, all right? I've seen this 1970s Gone in 60 Seconds. I don't know if you guys have seen that old-ass movie, no?
No,
All right,
I've
well,
only seen the Nicolas.
The Nicolas Cage,
version.
reboot, what's it called?
Remake.
Which was fine. The original one, insane, has nothing to do with the same plot. But that movie is dark as fuck because they're shooting on back roads at midnight. So in the 70s, you can't see shit. And I'm like, that makes perfect sense. That same scene should not be that fucking dark if you remake that movie in 2025. I'm like, for the love of God, give me light. I miss Fast and Furious for like the neon lights that they used to have on the
Oh yeah.
car.
To
I was
be
like,
fair,
make shit stylistic.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you going away from style, like being over stylized?
Yeah.
That shit is dope as
It's
fuck.
I feel
Everyone's
like it's
the
probably money. I feel like it's probably money. Because making stuff brighter, I think it's costing them a little more money.
I mean, there's two halves to this equation, I think. One is gritty realism, and the other is like, for neon specifically, I will say that neon lighting is actually being like removed from a lot of places now.
Yeah.
I think obviously because of expense or like how it's
Sure.
how it runs, but like the original like. Hong Kong, no, I think they took down the last neon light that was decorative, like in the city.
Right.
Which is sad as
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
So things that bring that city like so much nightlife, like are disappearing, you know.
But the headlights on cars are getting obscenely bright. Can't even see my
Dude,
see on the
anytime I
road.
drive at night, I'm like, I swear to God.
Like, why?
The high beams.
I need sunglasses at night to drive at this point.
I had visited a friend in Queens and I drove, and on my way back to the Bronx, there was a Cybertruck with like a beam, the brightest.
Yeah.
The unrendered Cybertruck.
Oh my
Jesus
god.
Christ.
The low polygon Cybertruck.
Look, I've seen N64 games with more polygons.
Oh man.
Help me.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no,
They really do ruin your whole day when you see
It
them.
does. It does.
I saw a lime green one. Like
Same.
Ew.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Although not as bad as the orange one that I've seen. I was like, why the fuck?
it only comes in two colors: Nickelodeon orange and Nickelodeon lime green.
You know, that's very
That's the
true.
same guy just driving around the city.
Yeah, just changing his, his car color.
Not sponsored by Nickelodeon,
Well, who knows?
Maybe not.
as far as we know.
But yeah, I would just like to see some more brightness again in movies.
Yeah.
Or like give me a fucking score that like swells, at the right moment instead of just silence.
Oh, see, yeah, like
Soundtracks have been
Yeah.
Sinners has.
Oh,
The
go
best.
see Sinners. It's great.
Yes,
I did.
I just saw it
Great,
yesterday
fantastic.
Again but this time in
The
IMAX.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was so great. Yeah, it was really cool. Their
Soundtrack
soundtrack.
number one spot allegedly from Thunderbolt.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yeah,
very
so-
Florence Pugh makes money either way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's so hot. Though.
But that soundtrack that was really really good.
Really good.
Yeah, the best soundtrack I've heard.
Yeah,
in
I
years.
haven't heard
That's
any
good.
like
Yeah.
good soundtracks recently, and I am somebody who loves like a movie soundtrack.
Only if it's like part of like the part of the film.
Yeah.
Like Wicked
Yeah.
part
Or
one.
like
Yeah.
superhero
Yeah.
films for some odd reason is like one of the last standing ones that use those orchestral soundtracks.
They get like a really
Yeah,
like a
'cause they have, like, their
well-known
themes and stuff like that,
composer
yeah.
like Hans Zimmer or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I did
it's
see
weird.
I did see a very silly video recently where they're like it's
Oh.
it's Alan Menken, right? Where they're reacting to like how Alan Menken is composing the farewell in Pocahontas and how dramatic it is. And it's like, Alan, what are you doing? Where are these leaves coming from? Alan, you need to calm down. It's so funny, but also it's so real because like whenever Hans Zimmer, Alan Menken, especially I think Alan Menken, like does these very emotional scores for Disney or other movies, it's so intense. Like it has me feeling my feels.
Yeah.
I don't have anything
Right.
that I wouldn't like that they need to stop doing. I mean, I feel like we talked about it earlier. I think the quote unquote live action Disney movies, but as you said, it's not for us. But it's still like they're not. There's nothing visually appealing about them
No, I
that
think
just
that's the other thing
can
against
ouch.
them too. Like,
I love
And they also, even though like with Cinderella and like Snow White and all of that, even though they are technically brighter, they also have like that dark or sepia
filter.
like filter on them.
I forgot about the Snow White one until you just
I
said it
think
right
a lot
now.
of people forgot about
No one
Snow
watched
White.
that.
So, but I'm like, in terms of Cinderella, it's not like
Or maybe-
they haven't done it before.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
That's a story that's been
Yeah.
told over and over
Yeah.
again.
And
Like-
yet,
This is just the Disney
And I think it's just
Cinderella.
specifically, and I think it's just like the manner in which it's handled and told
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes all the difference. Like if you're doing beat for beat of a cartoon movie you did 20 years ago, no,
Yeah.
stop that.
I do like that she meets the prince like early in that movie. Like I thought it was very sweet. And like the one thing I do like about that movie is it is very very focused on like the dramatic power of like good triumphing over like
Okay.
Yeah.
you know, and it's the inherent goodness. Like I think the idea of like holding on to inherent goodness in people versus like you know going against it.
I want to add, so maybe with the exception of Star Wars, like stop giving the bad guy a backstory. Like
Okay. All right.
I understand
Let a villain be a
Hunger
villain.
Games, like how.
Oh, I have some opinions,
Yeah,
but like
I get you
Yeah.
though. Like Jafar, like let a villain be a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't like even with Loki. I mean, Loki was more of like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't
There
like you like with President Snow in Hunger Games. I think that's like the biggest.
I will
example.
say with regards to Hunger Games and President Snow, the book apparently like the book made some people like really oh I feel bad for Snow. No, that book should actually make you hate Snow more. Like
That's so wild.
like there's something about like I don't know. There's
Anything that makes me sympathize with like
Yeah, exactly. It's just trying to make you empathetic.
I
Well,
think
you don't need to.
Yeah.
yeah, we don't. We
Like-
shouldn't have to.
I think
Yeah.
there's a
Minded.
persistence of like morally gray, quote unquote, coded
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
villains, where it's like no, it's not about being morally gray. Like if you were morally gray, this would be an entirely different story altogether. If you were being an entire villain and you're not like media literate enough to read that, then the readers are the problem, not the media.
I think one of the biggest recent examples of that would be Captain America and the Winter Soldier, the series. The way that they, portrayed Flag Smasher.
Yeah.
Like, she was a very sympathetic villain, to the point that the only reason that they figured they could, like, you know, be like, oh, no, she's actually a villain, was it blowing up, like, civilians as well? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, yeah, because otherwise everybody's already kind of... Fucking Captain America's kind of agreeing with her. Like, you kind of made your villain the protagonist.
Isn't that like the same issue with like I brought this up to you before?
Yeah.
Like the idea that you have to suddenly make your villain much more reprehensible because she was starting to look too sympathetic to the normal people.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring this up so much later. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Because one of the books I am reading in this particular month is The Kiss Quotient. And I had read this in 2022. And I was like, okay, this is an okay book. It wasn't like my favorite thing. And I liked some of the things it was doing. But there was something that was happening in that book that I have now like reread. And I'm like, oh, now I understand why I didn't like this bit. Because for the protagonist in that book, she's autistic and she's but also a highly successful woman who like hires an escort to teach her about sex and relationships before she tries to pursue her own relationship. And they wind up falling in love, etc. It's very complicated. But the thing is, Stella, the protagonist, has no other experience with men except for this guy who has basically shown her the bare minimum of like of listening to her, of being nice to her and things like that. And I'm like, this is your first experience with somebody who's been nice to you, and your alternative like rival interest is somebody who is a sexual harasser. So I'm just like, so the only way that you thought that because I think that like the guy, the protagonist's love interest, what's his name, Michael does have flaws. So he's got good things and bad things going for him. But the only way you could make him as a fully like, you know, multi-dimensional person more appealing is by making the other guy all red flags. And I'm just like, and that's what's happening. That's what I felt. That's a very similar thing happening to like, oh, Flag Smasher had to kill civilians in order to be a full villain that everybody can ride with.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. Like, in order to make the person with green flags and red flags more appealing to the audience, you had to make the alternative all red flags.
Yeah, cool. Because like I feel like with the Hunger Games, especially with, I am assuming it's going to be 3 prequels before the actual The Hunger Games trilogy that's going to come out. That I don't understand what was Suzanne Collins' approach of writing this book.
Money.
Well, money, yes. feel like that's like the huge overtone for all this franchise. Because I was like,
It really is.
when she announced like, oh yeah, there's like a prequel of the Hunger Games coming out, I was like, and it's going to be focused on President Snow. I was like, why? I can understand if you are writing a book about how the Hunger Games came about. It's like it's supposed to be a prequel, but if you're focusing on one character who's the most like villainous character in the book world, why are you writing this book? Because I don't want to read about a
His
character.
descent into
descent into
villainy.
exactly. It's like no, that doesn't make.
Is
any
he a
sense.
favorite in the franchise?
No, he
Well,
wasn't.
see, I don't think so.
I don't know him.
I could know very little about the Hunger Games because I hate that book series so much.
On the
I hate it
and
so
on the
much.
and on the opposite side of the table, like me, who does actually like deeply like I. Here's the thing: Hunger Games is not my favorite book franchise, but I deeply respect what it tried to do, and I deeply respect how it ended things because I'm like, much like the Animorphs, like author said.
Animorphs.
Yeah.
Like there is no good endings where wars are
Yeah.
involved,
Yeah.
where like things like where like people's rights are trod upon, or shit like that. And like the Hunger Games arguably was a very clear like cut vision of what that is like, and honestly like more and more as
Time
years
goes on.
pass like it makes it feels more real than ever because of how disconnected certain people are from like reality. But I understand why the initial reaction to Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is like, why the hell would you give us a story about President Snow?
Right.
And just like, from what I haven't read it myself, but like for the people who did like the Hunger Games and like read this, they were like, oh, it's not about sympathizing with Snow. It's just background, and like if you didn't come away from the book hating Snow more, you read the book wrong.
Which is honestly hilarious.
Yeah, and apparently the other sequel, Sunrise on the Reaping, was very, very good. Like there's a lot of stuff apparently in that book which is very relevant now, I think, because it's about how like media twists like the story. Because there's so much stuff that happens in Haymitch's Hunger Games that doesn't make it out. And I remember somewhere in the original like trilogy, Katniss and Peeta do watch older games and watch Haymitch's games, and they're like, "Oh, this stuff happened, and you don't know that so much more happened actually, and they can only come away with what their history has told them Haymitch did for the games. There was more."
I think my issue with the book series is not the plot or the storyline; it was the writing. I felt like Suzanne Collins was not a very good writer. It was very, when I was reading the first book, and I think it was you, Tessa, and our friend Amber, you guys told me like, oh, the Hunger Games is really good, you should read it. And I read it, and I was just like shocked to like find like I was the only person that was like, I don't get it. This is badly written.
No, I'm there.
Yeah, it was like very, the sentences were like broken and stuff, and the way that Katniss was portrayed, I wanted to kill her. I was like, give me the bow and arrow, I'll do it, and we can end this game right now.
I blamed it on YA style, which you know how I feel sometimes about it, so I thought, oh, this is just a YA thing, and
Here's
maybe
the
young
thing.
girls who read it can identify more with it, so I thought this isn't for me.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but then I read another YA novel that was much better writing. It's like, oh,
Which is this?
Yeah, it was like, no, this isn't like it was because it was a YA novel. It's because I don't particularly like her writing style.
Yeah.
And then and also I thought I would get the opposite effect because a lot of people said that Catching Fire wasn't as good as the Hunger Games.
No, I actually argue that like Catching Fire, Catching Fire to Mockingjay, like, is unfortunately like a descent into like the circumstances that Katniss falls into. And I think the problem really is that like because they're written from Katniss's point of view, what is Katniss? Katniss is like a 16 to 18-year-old girl in circumstances wherein like all she wants to do is feed her family and live, and now she's being thrown into like a circumstance wherein she has to lead a revolution which she wants nothing to do with. Like, that's a huge... If you were 16 to 18 and you were thrown into that situation, you would be shit too.
No. I can
not
argue
totally.
with that. I can argue with that because I can name you 5 books that do the same thing and they do it much, much better.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
the
the
books.
point of
Maybe
view
there
is written so much better.
No,
It's not-
name the books.
Oh, Monsters Born and Made, Somewhere in the Deep,
Mm-hmm.
The Stranded, it's called The Exiled in the UK, but
already got
here
like
is
5.
The Only Way, The Only Left Behind, or I'm just going to keep with The Exiled, and there's a 5th one.
There's a lot, basically.
There's a lot.
So I feel like, I don't know the genre,
Yeah.
but like if someone is well read in the genre,
Yeah.
probably like it just blew up. It got popular, and
Yeah.
word of mouth, everyone is particular to it. But I'm sure there's like better.
Yeah, and then I highlight like Monsters Born and Made by Tommy Burva because she was inspired by the Hunger Games.
There you go.
And
something
her inspiration from that, she created her own world. And I even told, because I interviewed her and I told her, it's like, I did not like dystopian novels because I read the Hunger Games. Because I thought it was like, oh, this is like
Did you say a monster is born?
Monsters Born and Made.
Okay. Oh,
Born
and Made. Okay.
Yeah, Born and Made. Yeah.
Sorry, I missed
Oh yeah, I also heard Born in.
Oh, sorry. Born and Made. Yeah. MADE.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because she has a female protagonist who is going through a lot, who is in the world
I can
trying
get-
to.
I can get into this. It's a
Yeah.
South Asian. It's a South Asian.
Yeah,
thing.
she takes
I think
South
Asian
Asian
and did
mythology.
author talk.
Yeah,
No, I
exactly.
think to Tabrizia's point, it's really the writing.
It was
Yeah.
really the writing.
Not necessarily like Katniss's point of view or
No.
when she was.
I am actually of the opinion that like, did we read the same book?
Look, I
maybe we
also
had
could
like
not get
different.
past.
Yeah.
I know you didn't. I know a lot of people don't, and I actually think that there's a lot of people who hate it also for the ending. But I'm just like, I had no issue.
here-
I think it's very
but here's-
personal too,
yeah.
isn't it? Like
Yeah.
some things just connect with you, some things just
But
don't.
here is my defense of this series. I like the movies.
I hated
better
the
than
movies.
That's
I like the
hilarious.
movies better than the books.
I hate the first movie especially, and I like the second one more.
Okay.
Why?
But
Why?
because I think that in the first movie you are watching it from the perspective of the capital, which makes me feel ill. You're watching it from the perspective of like people who are enjoying the Hunger Games for its spectacle and its like bloodshed, versus in Catching Fire you are right there in the action with Katniss, like starting the spark of the revolution. That's why I think it's
Well,
better.
I got that.
It's also closer. It just feels closer.
I got
to the
that. Like
protagonist.
you're seeing the spectacle from the capital, but also you're seeing the toll. From my opinion, you're starting to see the toll that it took on Katniss, and probably
I did not feel close to Katniss at all in the first Hunger Games.
I think that was also the actress.
Right, exactly.
That's
Jennifer
true.
Lawrence. I mean, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like she did a great job. But I know that people who do love the series, but probably don't feel that connection with the movie series. Do I think that they needed to break up Mockingjay? No, they could have.
Yeah,
done
fuck the
Yeah.
That's something that they can also
Yeah,
do.
that's something all the movies need to stop doing. Stop splitting things into 2 to 3 different movies. If you do The Hobbit.
The only way I will accept this is in the case of Spider-Verse, where they're like, no, we just couldn't fit this into a 6. We were going to end up with a 5-hour film, so
And
had to
we
split
would
it.
have sat
And we
there.
would have
I personally would have sat down for that.
5 hours with an intermission. Are you listening?
I think they stopped
would've sat down for 5
They stopped
minutes.
doing that minus Wicked, because I feel like Wicked they had to do that in 2 parts because they were basing it off the Broadway musical, and it is long, and they were like,
It's only 3 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
How long was the first Wicked movie?
2 hours.
2 hours.
So what the hell? Just make it one thing.
No.
But are they
no.
appropriating the book? I don't know.
No, they were programming the Broadway
No, it's a
musical.
musical.
That's what I thought. The musical's not that long.
No, because I think they were doing more like dance sequences and stuff, and then they wanted to really dive more into. So
That's fine.
I
And they
get
get the
it.
money.
money. Yeah, exactly. And more money. But I think they really stopped doing the 2 parts after Twilight because they realized
Twilight started
was like the
it.
first one.
No, Harry Potter was the first one.
And Twilight followed.
Yeah, and then the Hunger Games.
And then The Hobbit.
And
Like, what's your point?
Yes, Hobbit.
That's
I forgot about the Hobbit. Yes. Mission Impossible Part 2 is coming out.
I will say, among franchises that I don't understand are still being made, why is Mission Impossible still being made?
Action movie with actual stunts. No CG. No CG.
Here's the thing.
All of you complaining about CG.
It's so
No. Honestly,
so
look,
good.
I don't like Tom Cruise as a person.
Same.
However,
Same.
I will say,
I will only watch Tom. Like I've seen other Tom Cruise movies. I don't understand Maverick. I will never understand Maverick.
Top Gun was good.
I liked
Top
it.
Gun.
I liked it.
Top Gun was
I
good.
like
I
that.
don't get it, but like
No, here's the
I'm
thing.
sad for every single Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible is the last action movie.
Yes, thank you.
Is the
Thank
last
you.
action
You
movie
cannot
franchise.
argue with that. You cannot bring me any other action movie that lives up to Mission Impossible. You cannot.
Except
Well,
Henry
but
Cavill
Fast and
reloading
Furious
his
as an
arms in
action.
James
It's not-
Bond.
I would like the table to know that I have downloaded Monsters Born and Made on my Libby app. Support your local libraries. Support your local library. It starts the same way as the Hunger Games. I don't see what you're saying.
Did it start as a fan fiction?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that'd be funny
No.
as fuck.
No.
But anyways,
No, I'm so ready. It's
but I
coming
will
out on
say-
Friday. I'm so
Is it
excited.
really already?
Yeah.
yeah.
Holy
Oh wait, it's also being come to These Violent Delights. Like we should read
Oh,
These
okay,
Violent
cool.
Delights.
Wait, which one's these violent
Oh,
delights?
The one that
Goodness.
I loaned you, the Chloe Gong book, the Romeo and
Right,
Juliet
yeah. I do
in
have it.
1920s Shanghai.
All right.
Oh, but back to Mission Impossible. I do agree with Tessa. I don't understand.
It's the last
You
one.
don't like action movies. It's okay to say you don't like action movies.
I love action movies.
You don't like action movies with real actors and real stunts.
Okay. No, because John Wick.
We're pushing it with
And-
real actors. Tom Cruise does a lot of his own stunts.
Tom Cruise is not a real actor. Tom Cruise is a shell of a man.
He might be a shell of a man. He does his own acting.
He still does his own. He will break his own ankle for the
He
story.
is only an actor. He is not a human being.
No, exactly. I believe it. Have you seen that smile?
There you go. He's committed to the bit.
Oh my god. But
I love this
I
movie.
do
I
get.
No, Mission Impossible. It's just like the only one I will say is the one that was when he was married. I didn't get that one. Just felt totally different in tone from
Is
the
that
rest
the
of
third
them.
one? No.
Yes, third or fourth one.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, that was
Married in
very
Real Life.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
Married in Real Life.
No,
or
no,
married
no,
in-
no,
in the movie.
To be fair, whenever an action star, like
Because
an
they
action
never
hero is,
brought up.
yeah, what?
Because that one was about like the rabbit's foot, which was like a virus. I don't know. It
Oh,
was a
yeah,
virus.
it's the virus.
And then they never really brought it up again. Because
I think that was
all
the
of
third
them,
one?
yeah, because all of the movies do have like a connecting
Thread,
force,
yeah.
and it's the alternate secret society, and that's like what we're getting in this last one.
I will say, like, if you can't
I'm
end
so
a
excited.
secret society in 3 movies, like, what's your storytelling like?
Because the
You want
secret
to see
society,
the action.
it's all
That's
about
fair.
because. First of all, it's like the Dubai stunt, that was real. That was
that was
crazy.
Wow, insane.
The plane
Oh.
stunt, also the motorcycle one.
The motorcycle going
Oh
up
my
the
God, the
mountain?
motorcycle.
Yeah, I was in
Wow.
that.
I mean, I will say, like, with the plane sequence, that was filmed over the Lake District.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah.
I don't know. I
A
I
real
feel like
place.
That doesn't mean I'm going to spend $20 just to
You don't have to,
see a
however.
bare glimpse
I'm
of the
spending my
Lake
$20.
District.
I know how I'm spending my
I
tax.
see it for you.
like no, I think it's a good time.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, my favorite types of movies, like especially in the action genre, are like the spy assassin type stuff. So if it's
High
like
octane.
yeah, so if it's like spies, assassins, like a kind of a caper type
Oh, I
show,
love a good
which is
heist
what
movie.
which is what all of
Fast
Fast
and
and
Furious.
Furious. It's just a heist after heist after heist after heist movie, but with cars
And then
like
recruited by the government, and then still doing
yes,
heist after
and
heist
now
after
there
heist
it's
after
just a giant heist franchise. And I think that's what makes it great. Plus,
fun.
La Familia. If you can watch Naruto and be like the power of friendship, then you can watch
The top no jutsu.
Then you can watch
like
Fast
Fast and Furious for La Familia because
You get a
family is
Corona.
everything.
Go.
You get a Corona because you're family.
Yeah, and even though he was also a creep, Paul, it hasn't been the same without Paul Walker.
I know.
No lie. But
What,
like-
Vin Diesel couldn't carry the franchise?
No, I
The man
mean,
is carrying the
he
franchise,
is
to be
carrying
honest.
it. But I just love this. I love the ridiculousness of it now, especially in like the newer movies, because
Newer
like,
episodes.
first of all, you're in space in a DeLorean.
Oh my god, I forgot.
I didn't know that was the latest one. Oh my god.
And then he pulls like Dom, aka Vin Diesel's character, pulls an entire building down with just some chains and his bare strength, and then he catches a car with
Oh yeah,
his
no,
bare
at this point
hands.
he's a demigod.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a Samsung move.
Yeah, he's at this point reached demigod proportions.
But
Yeah.
I am waiting for the next Hobbs and I didn't love
Hobbs
Hobbs
and
and
Shaw?
Shaw, but I liked Idris Elba's character in it, and I want them to continue. Again, it's a secret society. I want them to continue
Do we just
that
like Secret
aspect.
Society?
I mean,
Sound
personally,
off.
they make the best
Yeah,
stories.
they
Yeah,
really do.
Yeah,
because you
like,
can just use them however the fuck you want.
everything's a secret society. We're
No,
a secret
even when we
society.
played D&D, it's always a
Yeah,
cult.
our podcast only reaches 5 people.
Oh, we just burned ourselves. No.
I'm
It's a
sure.
cult.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think
Thank you,
know,
our
the
loyal
two-
listeners.
I'll show you.
Shout out to our friend Mikey for the 911
And my
discussion.
mom.
And with his mom. There's the two of them.
But to go back to what Evelyn said, like that, like Mission Impossible is like one of the last action movies. I would have to disagree, even though there hasn't been a latest installment of yet, but they're still working on it because of legal stuff. But I would say James Bond.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the main difference, though, is the type of action.
Yeah.
Between
Yeah.
James Bond is very much traditional
Spy,
yeah.
where it's like the silencer from the corner, like you know,
James
it's not.
Bond is very, exactly.
It can be.
It's not as high octane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not-
because James Bond is about like pulling it off with the least amount of effort, like in it, like
Yeah,
to
looking
get the
suave.
suit.
Yeah.
Snowboarding
because you
down the
can't
mountain in a
shred
full
the
suit, just like.
I mean, but with like the last James Bond, Daniel Craig. I mean,
Daniel
that
Craig
was
was
one of,
very
yeah, he
good.
was really
Yeah,
great.
he was.
But one of the reasons why he stepped away is he was like, the stunts were becoming too much. I think he lost like part of his finger.
Oh, I believe
or
it.
something.
I can
Yeah, it's
imagine.
like he was like it went through a lot of
And
trauma.
he was old. Like,
I think, to be fair, I think that's another issue that's unfortunately happening is that we, for some odd reason, the film industry cannot find like the newer stars, so they keep using the older stars.
Yeah.
They
So
don't
it's
want
like-
to take risks.
They don't want to take risks on people that might not sell a movie, and I'm
I
like,
think
that's the
that's-
wrong approach, to be honest.
I do think that is the core of like most of our issues with franchises and like stuff. It's like Hollywood does not want to take risks on new actors, new stories,
Yeah.
new
or if they do
new
like
styles.
the same faces, like James, what is his Ellerdy? Is that what his name?
James
Oh,
Jacob Elordi.
Jacob
Who the
Elordi.
fuck is Jim Ford?
I
I
only
see
know
his
his name.
name everywhere.
Yes.
I like
I'm
he
with
was
Chris.
Elvis.
Who is James?
Did you watch Saltburn anyway?
No.
Oh,
Jesus
him.
Christ.
Okay.
No.
not the short one, the tall one.
Okay, so for anyone in the audience who, like the rest of us, do not know who Jacob Elordi is, Jacob Elordi is an Australian actor who rose to fame for his role as Noah Flynn in Netflix's The Kissing Booth series. He has since taken on darker roles, including the manipulative high schooler Nate Jacobs in HBO's Euphoria.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
He was Elvis in Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, and
Yeah.
of course the leading role in Saltburn,
Oh,
as
I want to
mentioned
see
by
that.
Whitney.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I mean, look, he's good looking, but unfortunately, he also no offense to Mr. Elordi, sir, but
Who I'm sure is listening.
but he does also look like every other like
Yeah, him and
actor
Glenn
I've ever
Powell.
seen.
I'm just like,
Sir
my
It's
God.
very generic.
That's a face.
I will say there are certain photos of him here where I'm like, he kind of pulls off a Robert Pattinson look, which is kind of weird.
And then in other faces, he kind of looks like
I think he was in talks
a
to
Timothy
be-
Chalamet, you know.
What's his face? Is it Patrick Bateman?
Oh, for the
Correct.
remake of American Psycho.
He could be a young Patrick Bateman.
You know what? I believe it, but that's what I'm saying.
But he can't control his sweat glands. So.
But I'm saying,
And you
like,
need that.
I think, yeah,
That can be CGI.
that can be edited out.
But the realism.
No, edited in.
Edited in. Sorry.
But the acting. If you
Yeah,
can't
like-
control your sweat glands, what actor are you?
What kind of
Yeah,
method actor?
come on.
No,
Right.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's an issue that a lot of franchises do have, is that they want to continue using the same actors, and I'm like, you can't. And I think that's where the weirdest parts of like the superhero genre exists. Is like, you can get an actor for 5 movies tops.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck Chris Hemsworth is coming back as Thor.
Because who's hiring him to do anything else?
I'm just saying, look, no disrespect to him, because he can. Apparently, he can
he's
still
a great
bring it.
actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He can still like bulk up. But I'm like,
He's so fun.
I feel
Him and
bad
his wife.
for him.
Who was also in the Fast and Furious
Yeah,
movie.
like I just feel bad for him because I'm like, let the man rest. Let him do comedy again.
Oh my god,
Yeah, let him be
hilarious.
funny. Actually, what I think should happen is that genre actors should trade. Like, let an action star be funny, and let a funny actor be
Give
like
us
an action
romance
star.
movies again.
Give us
You
romance.
know what? I find that romance
Cast
movies-
Adam Driver in a romance contemporary,
Where he's not being
romance.
abusive.
You just want to lay low.
No.
I mean, yes, but no.
Give us a Devil Wears
thought so.
Prada remake with Adam Driver.
That'd be interesting.
Look,
Devil
I
Wears
would
Prada's fine, wait.
platonically.
Let's not. We don't need.
Wait, you don't want Devil Wears Prada 2?
No, but we can
Tango in Florence?
Oh my god.
Look, I would platonically climb Adam Driver like a tree. He is over 6 foot,
Yes.
and I am tiny.
Yes.
This is fair.
But I do feel like a lot of the romance movies are going on streaming services. They're not.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah, they're
like,
Well, there is the one that's coming out with Pedro Pascal and Dakota Johnson and Chris
and
Evans.
Chris Evans.
What the fuck?
Have you not seen that
Yeah.
like the picture of the three of them on the couch?
No. Wait. What is
Talking
this?
about.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like, I love
materialist.
Pascal.
Well, so it's about Dakota Johnson is a matchmaker.
Okay.
And she gets in a love triangle with Chris Evans, who's a waiter,
Of course.
and Pedro Pascal, who's a billionaire.
Stop.
And
it.
she's struggling.
Let's go, Pedro Pascal.
I was just like,
Let's
if she
go.
does not pick the man with money,
She's not going.
She's
We've
not
seen
going
this movie,
to.
and we will watch it again.
Oh, I love me some Dakota.
that's another thing that needs to stop.
Which one?
Let's stop picking the poor guy.
Let the billionaire be
right?
nice also.
Wait, hang on.
It's a fantasy.
That's not realistic.
Fantasy.
It's really.
Oh, why not choose both?
Why not?
And they can both live off of his money.
I feel like that is not.
Why choose?
Why choose?
Okay, but I will say that the current state of Why Choose is a train wreck because of the infamous Why Choose book that has taken over.
I thought you were gonna say
I've never
challenges.
heard of this book.
Wait, what?
You've never heard of the?
Is
Do you
it
know-
called Why Choose?
No,
Okay.
it's not. It is marketed as a Why Choose.
No.
It is marketed as a gender-bent Hercules. It's Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Moss. Like,
I've never heard of this book.
we will discuss at a future date because I think this
Is it good?
The head nod is on
Tessa
you.
shook.
The head shake
the head shake. I'm sorry. I could not bring myself to say yes or no. I just
so funny.
I could.
But I feel like if you're gonna get a Why Choose, it can't be mainstream. It's got to be some shitty thing you find on Kindle Unlimited.
That's why I think.
That's where you're really good, or like Wattpad or something. That's where it's really done well. Honestly,
That's
Or
why I think
Wattpad
this
does it
movie-
best.
That's why I feel like The Materialist is not a romantic comedy. Like in the sense, I think it's like a very literary.
It's like a dramedy.
Yeah,
It does look
exactly.
more drama, but like,
Yeah.
I do agree. We need to bring back rom-coms.
I would
Yeah.
say
Why not?
the poster for the Materialist almost looks like, you know, a Vicky Cristina Barcelona type movie, you know?
Mhm.
That's the
I
vibe
never
of
seen
that movie.
I never seen
Yeah,
that.
because I feel like a lot of the rom-coms are going onto Netflix or Tubi or
It is-
Amazon
it is
Prime.
kind
Or they're
because
relying on like
Netflix is-
international releases and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Netflix
like
is doing
K-dramas.
Yeah, like
Sorry,
K-dramas
a
and
lot
stuff
of
like
that,
that.
Netflix did do like a fairly like good job of like doing rom-coms, like because they did. I think they're running high off of things like To All the Boys I've Loved Before,
Right.
Yeah.
Always Be My Maybe, like stuff like that.
Or the one with Lindsay Lohan.
I never
Oh, the
watched
Christmas
that.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it the snowman one?
Yeah.
No,
Not the snowman?
it's not a snowman.
Oh.
She just has
Sexy snowman.
She loses her
She
memory.
falls for a snowman.
Oh, it is a sexy
Yes.
snowman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's with Vanessa Hudgens. No, that's where she was a princess.
I
And
can't
she's
Yeah.
Yeah, the
being
Christmas
for real
Prince or
now.
something.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Wait.
The
Hang on.
Princess Sentient Snowman?
There is a sexy snowman movie
Yes.
on Netflix. I do not know the title of it off the top of my head.
Yes.
But it does exist.
If our
maybe
audience
that's
would
what it
let us
should
know.
be.
Tumblr come to life. I love it.
It's like Frosty something.
Yeah, it's
Frosty
like-
something. Something Frosty or Frosty something.
It's not Jack Frost.
It's not Jack. No, Jack Frost is a terrifying movie, but it's
Yeah.
great. Love that shit.
Oh no,
I
the
respect that.
Jack Frost scary one, not the Jack Frost with Michael Keaton.
No, I'm talking about that one. That shit is terrifying.
He was terrified as a child.
Oh,
I saw that when I was 4. I should not have.
oh, okay, yeah. No, a 4-year-old should not see a talking snowman like
With like creeping like stick
now I know what
arms,
you're talking
trying to hug a child.
Right.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Plus, it was like
Why?
the old like style of like fucking animation.
Also, like, why is every Christmas movie involving fathers trying like taking them away from their sons?
because
like-
directors are deeply traumatized,
Ah, that
and
makes
so are
sense.
writers.
Everyone's divorced now.
That too. And if they weren't divorced in the 90s, they should have been.
Ooh.
Anyways.
No.
And on that disappointment, it's time to start.
Wait, no, hang on. I think we still have topics.
I keep adding this on the course of like our conversation. It's called Hot Frosty. By
Hot
the way.
Frosty.
Hot
And
Frosty?
it's Lacey Chabert.
Yes.
Lazy Chabert. Oh my god.
But
It does
You
exist.
just have to see what this
But
looks
speaking
like.
of
Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty. Speaking of like Netflix series that everyone should watch, everyone should watch Week Hero Class.
You've
It's
mentioned
so
this.
good.
It's on its 2nd season now, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
the 2nd season just came out. I'm hoping that they get a 3rd. I love fighting. So on top of like spy action, I love fighting TV shows and like revenge plots. And so that
Oh, that
is
does look like a
perfectly-
revenge plot.
It's so good. The first season
That
is very
kid's definitely
sad.
out for
It is- But I bring this up because as we spoke about earlier about 911. So the 2nd season, I watched it and binged it right after the death of Bobby, who's the character from 911 that they killed off. And my favorite
R.I.P.
R.I.P. And my favorite character, one of my favorite characters from the 1st season, it's spoilers, but survives and like comes back on the very last episode, and I cry. The way I cry, because it like healed the death of Bobby by bringing this character back.
That's wild.
Did you know that was going to happen?
No,
Seriously?
I was hoping.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, like praying to God, and then it happened, and I was like, so relieved. Because I was just like a shitty week to be like, my favorite, like, America's TV dad was killed off essentially, and then my favorite character comes back to the show, so it's like
You get that one.
yes.
We're almost out of time, but to close out our topics, this topic about franchises, wanted to ask if there was a book, TV, or movie that you want to see a sequel, reboot, or adaptation. What would it be and why?
Dark Angel.
Ooh.
That is interesting.
I was like,
yeah,
is this the
I
Jessica
feel like
Alba?
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
feel
that TV show did not get the attention.
What
that it
show was
deserved.
this?
Dark.
Oh my god!
And it Jensen Ackles with his real voice.
I will say, I have seen this show. Like,
And it was Omegaverse before.
Omegaverse
That's what we
was
were
the name.
calling
Is this like on the
it.
same vein as like Veronica Mars and shit?
No, but oh my god,
No,
it
it's
was-
it's very urban fantasy type.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
But
more Buffy than.
It's about these group of. It's have you ever? I don't know what's that show.
I remember-
not Kyle XY, but it was like another.
The Secret World of Alex Mack?
No, it was
No.
John Doe. No, so I'm misremembering. So with Dark Angel, it's about these group of kids. I think did they have barcodes on the back of their neck?
They did,
Yeah.
yes.
These group of kids who are being experimented on
They were
with like
experiments,
animal DNA. And
Yeah.
most like
I
they're,
remember
like,
Jessica
female,
Alba could see in the
female.
dark.
Yes. Feline DNA to like become
now I see what
superhuman.
you're
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Because I think
Actually.
it was it a James Cameron?
No, I
produced
think it was
show?
a Joss Whedon TV
Was it
show.
Joss Whedon?
You're talking about wait.
No,
Alias?
James Cameron. Yeah, it was James Cameron.
James Cameron.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Because it
yeah.
came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was a James. See,
Yeah.
and so
this is-
basically
It's all coming together.
they escape and they were like siblings and they find each other and it's just them hiding from the people chasing them, but then also like solving mysteries and crimes and Michael Weatherly.
Oh, this is funny. It says here a series of novels continued the storyline, and it's considered to have gothic and female empowerment themes, following a long line of strong female characters in Cameron's work, including Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley.
Yeah.
the two best
Also-
female stars ever.
Also influenced by the manga
Male
Battle Angel Alita, and I'm just
Yeah.
that's fair.
And so basically, like, she has female DNA, so she goes into heat and all
Oh my
this,
God.
and then like,
Oh, speak to me about this.
Speak to me about it.
Suddenly Tessa's ears.
I think it was only like two
I
or
think it was
It's
two
one
seasons.
season. It's
Two
not-
seasons.
Two seasons.
Yeah, this
Okay.
was very short. I
Yeah,
remember
it
this.
was-
because I loved
Really
it. It was
wrong thing.
so good. I was just and
But
I
yeah,
need
two
another
seasons.
psych movie, but
That's different.
yeah.
I mean, for me personally, if they didn't already if they hadn't already mishandled this movie in recent years, then I would have said The Mummy. Because I love the 1999 The Mummy, and I really love it was
Brendan
the
Fraser, the man that you were.
oh yes. I'm just like I really love that movie, and I love the I guess you call it the sand and like swashbuckling like type of movie.
like sword and sand.
Yeah. Type of movie. Yeah, I miss.
Swashbucklers.
Yeah.
I do miss those types of movies.
Also a
And-
heist movie.
Oh,
That-
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really wish they would bring those back because I could use some.
That was on the list of the most most movie
The
series.
Mummy?
Yeah.
Oh, because they're counting like the old Universal movies.
Oh, I will say
Nice.
I did watch like a video about like the generations of like the Mummy like franchise like as a as a Universal Dark Monster type thing,
Yeah.
right? The way that the 1999 The Mummy pays so much homage to that particular
Film.
the old film is so good because they're almost shot for shot like similar like things, and I'm just like I'm deeply impressed now. Like there was more to love about 1999 The Mummy than Brendan Fraser.
So would
and
you
Golden
want it
Bear.
to be exactly like the Brendan Fraser one?
I would
or
love.
would you want it to be more
I would-
up to, but not? We don't. I don't think
So
about the
here's-
Tom
Tessa's
Cruise
issue
one.
is like the Tom Cruise one was so mishandled.
It's
that,
It's
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like unfortunately, the 2017 one
I
was it?
don't
Yeah.
remember.
The Tom
The bad one that we
The
don't
bad
talk
one,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, the Tom Cruise Mummy was not like to my liking, and like it did not have the same like because I thought that 1999 Mummy had it all. It had the romance, it had the comedy, it had the adventure.
Well, I think it's because the Tom Cruise one was meant to try to be like a
Dark.
straight horror action movie.
Yeah, and it was not
And it
my
failed.
vibe. For anybody who ever
You
liked
need
Egyptology,
romance.
for anyone who ever liked Egyptology as a child, it did not hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But something like Uncharted or
Uncharted was a good film though.
I watched.
Yeah?
I
Yeah.
first when I was
That's a
on my
video game tournament.
Yes, it is.
when I was on my
And one of the better ones.
on my plane trip to Tokyo, I had 14 hours of nothing. So I started watching all of like the most action-packed adventure things I could think of, and they had Raiders of the Lost Ark, they had Last Crusade, and then I followed it up with, oh, you know what, I've never seen Uncharted. What better way to experience it than in a cramped plane with a tiny screen?
Yep.
And I'm here watching Tom Holland get like ripped across like the sky, like falling out of a plane.
Out of the cargo
And I'm just
plane.
like, oh, I'm into this now.
Yeah, no, the Tom Holland Uncharted movie, I think, was one of the best video game adaptation movies.
It was great. I enjoyed it a lot. It also brought to mind so many of these like
Better than
adventure.
Thank you for reminding me that movie existed.
Oh my god. No, I really enjoyed it. So like I want more movies like that. I want more movies that kind of just don't take themselves that seriously and are just fun and like adventure type things. You know? Like I miss that.
Yeah.
What about you, Evelyn?
You know, this is a weird one, but I've been thinking about it just because I love it so much. The
Muppets.
Godfather trilogy.
You want them to remake it?
I want either a remake, not exactly a remake, but a continuation, because I feel like the story's so rich and it's like a genealogical thing, but they screwed up 3 so bad, and that was with the original author, Mario Puzo. So I don't think he should do it. But I think someone in the right hands, I feel like, let's bring
So
the
like a
Godfather
sequel
to the
series.
new generation.
Like a sequel series?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
And Talia Shire is still alive, so we can bring her into it and have somehow like a matriarchal presence, you know, like maybe to counteract
That'd be good,
all the
actually.
patriarchal presence.
See,
So that's why I was
that's
so
nice.
mad for the Godfather 3. I was like, she was in there and she was really good, but she didn't have the power that I wanted her to do. So it was like, if I could come up with like a universe of it, I think it
Why
could be
not?
really,
Yeah.
it could be really rich and like just like
That's
with the
interesting.
ancestral Godfather in
It's
there.
Scorsese directed.
No, he needs to stay far the fuck away.
No, it's not Scorsese. It was Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
still alive. But he can't do it. He can't do it. But it's in someone else's hands. I don't know. It's a complicated.
Yeah,
Sophia
Sophia Coppola.
Who knows?
She could do it.
There's
so
another.
different.
There is
Yeah.
It's
another.
very, very different.
I think there's another Coppola besides Sophia. Who
Yeah,
did?
Nick Cage, but that's not.
No. A girl.
Oh,
She did.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's
Okay.
another Coppola.
I was
So
like,
there's
yeah,
another
Nick
year
Cage,
that we
but
can
like-
choose from, and I think it could be really epic. And I just have this idea in my head about it.
I
want
that's
someone to put it
No.
to
No,
paper or film.
I want Nick Cage to do this.
He's very good. He's very good. In Moonstruck, he's very good. So he could do it. He could do it.
Look,
We
Nick,
have
I have
a
nothing
really
but respect for Nick
It's
Cage,
Italian
honestly.
American.
The unbearable weight of talent. Like,
With Pedro Pascal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. No, so I think this could be really rich.
I think
And
that's a
want
good
to
one, though.
I want to bring. Yeah, it's just out of left field, but I really think we could do something with this. So let's do it, guys.
Hey, let's pool all our resources.
Pull the resources together.
Yeah, I got like 10 bucks.
Let's storyboard.
After taxes.
We'll storyboard it. We'll cast it. We'll get the director.
I'm not
Sorry, I always go off.
What about you, Tabrizia?
Yeah.
What do you want to?
I had initial thought, but now something came up to me. I would like a more accurate depiction of Frankenstein.
Oh.
Not the it's
I have
always a focus on the monster.
I
And
have
I'm
a
like,
question for you after this, but go on.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know they're coming out with, I think it's Guillermo del Toro. He's coming out with the movie Frankenstein. It's coming out on Netflix. But reading the
trust his
synopsis,
vision.
Yeah, no, I love it.
no. I actually don't, because it's not based on the book. It's completely
it's
different.
different.
It's just
Oh.
Frankenstein. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
just-
Frankenstein movie.
It's just a Frankenstein movie, and I'm
Gotcha.
like that.
I do like his palette.
No, he's
Yeah.
gonna do it well, but I get to Breeze's
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's,
You want Mary Shelley's original.
Yes.
exactly
Okay,
what she was
okay.
trying to say.
You need a female director.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What she was
yeah.
trying to do with this book, because it was like people are always focusing on the monster, like saying like the monster is Frankenstein. It's like, no, the true monster was Victor Frankenstein by putting all this, just thinking that he could play God.
Yeah.
And
Cast
bring
Robert
someone-
Pattinson.
Yeah.
As Frankenstein or the monster?
Yes. The true monster
Wait,
was
no,
man.
you get the same actor actor playing Frank.
Well,
the
he
doctor.
already did that in Mickey 17.
Oh my god, I have to
He's a
see
clone
that.
saying.
That's so good. Damn.
So yes,
I said that to be off the cuff, but like I actually want to see this.
yeah. So
Actually,
I,
yeah, just cast Robert Pattinson.
exactly. So yeah, I
He's a
want
perfect
more
tortured soul.
But didn't
accurate-
we just say we don't want the same actors?
I know, but like Robert Pattinson took
Robert
a break. It's
Pattinson is
fine.
fresh enough.
He's only in his 30s.
I mean, I'm sorry, grimy enough.
40s? How old is
He
he?
does look
So what was
perpetually
your
unwashed.
question or
I was gonna ask how much of the because you said you want an accurate like a more accurate like shush.
Sorry, perpetually unwashed. Got me. I'm out.
Okay. No, you were saying like you want a more accurate like depiction of Frankenstein, like closer to the book, and I'm just like, how much do you want of Mary Shelley's disgust at Lord Byron, like depicted in this? How much of
discuss it
that?
all?
Like, how much of the escapism from
It can be a part 2.
how much of that particular brand of escapism do you want to
Alright,
like,
so
find
this is
in
split
that?
into 3 parts.
Yeah.
You get the 3 arcs. You get the 3 arcs. You know.
Directed Nosferatu, the one that just came out.
Oh, shoot, I saw it.
I did not see that one.
saw it.
I liked it until the end.
Mm.
It was a little over the top at the end, but I don't hate that. Wait, what did you want for
Robert
that?
Eggers.
I wanted Robert Eggers. His palette might be good because he does gothic horror. Right?
Yeah.
You know what was
Yeah.
crazy? He filmed half of it at the actual castle, but I didn't know that. I thought it was all CG because it was so dark.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
crazy.
insane? I thought the whole thing was CG, and a lot of it was actually.
It was
real.
real
just shot there.
So
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's the
Wow.
only thing that kind of got me there. I was
Actually,
disappointed.
I for once didn't have a My issue with movies is when it's like a freaking black as shit, and then the next scene is the sun rising.
Just the absolute whiplash to your eyes.
Oh my god.
yeah.
Like
No,
you gotta
that's-
be a pirate, close your eyes before the scene transitions
But
so
he
you can
does,
adjust
or
easier.
or whoever directed Crimson Moon with Tom
Crimson Peaks.
Crimson
Crimson-
Peak.
Oh no.
Oh!
I do love gothic
Wait,
romance and
hold on.
horror.
I'm working my way in.
remember what
I
you
tell
did.
myself I love a gothic.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
He did it. He did Crimson.
Oh,
Peak.
then
Yeah,
I-
because he has a great, like, dark...
But yeah,
director.
but yeah,
director.
but-
But he loves the color. He uses the color red so well in everything.
Yeah.
Like
Pan's Labyrinth was
And I
blue
think
mostly.
I feel like he
It's
would,
very blue, Pan's
Yeah.
Labyrinth, but it's
Yeah.
very good. Like it's perfect.
yeah, he would be definitely good, but it just like from based on the synopsis of this version of Frankenstein,
Yeah.
it's really not.
you didn't like the Kenneth Branagh version? Did he do a Frankenstein?
He
did.
probably did.
You probably did.
You will find him in the most random projects.
Kenneth Branagh did the Cinderella, did he not?
I think he was in
Yeah.
one of them, yeah.
And he did Death on the Nile, guys. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What? There was an adaptation of Death on the Nile?
That
We saw this with our own 2 eyes.
So bad.
But,
Oh, yes, he did. In
See?
1994.
Oh, wow.
He was also in Pirate Radio, which was a really good film.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was
I have to
hysterical.
watch this one because this might be more accurate.
Yeah, I tell myself I enjoy
I'm
it.
surprised you
romance,
didn't watch it.
but-
I watched
This is
that.
from 1994. I didn't.
And yet I still managed to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I saw the play that was done by the National Theater.
Well, you got me
with
there.
Johnny. No, it was on movie screen.
Oh, yeah.
With Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch when they would
course,
they
that's
would
right.
do roles.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was really good. They did take some liberties. They added a few things, but it was really
Oh,
good.
is that where that picture is from? Where it's him and Johnny Lee Miller jumping like and they're doing like this?
Yeah.
The one that's where Martin Freeman is always like getting photoshopped on it because Holmes and Watson.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the picture. Yeah.
Send me the Photoshop.
You've seen this. We've discussed this.
I'm sure I
I'm
have.
sure we have.
Sure I
Hold on. I'll find it for you.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So, thank you for everyone listening to the Fake Book Club. You can listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, and Pandora. And you can also visit our website at fakebookclubpodcast.wordpress.com.
Fake Book Club?
Yeah,
Fake.
fake.
Oh, I thought you
Oh
said
my-
big.
oh my God.
Fake book.
I
so I could cut this out? Or are we leaving this?
So leave
Leave
it
it in.
Fake
Thank you for enunciating.
book club podcast
Yeah, that's right.
.wordpress.com because some people.
WordPress is one word.
Oh my god!
Thank you very much for joining us. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Our next episode will be hosted by Chris.
Yeah.
What we'll talk about?
Star Wars.
Who know? Maybe Star Wars. Who knows? Tune in to find out.
We're gonna be talking about our favorite swords.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Bye.